I wonder, do you want me to wave or speak or what?
Yeah, you can do.
Hello, everyone.
Good morning, good morning.
Hello.
Let's give you your proper introduction.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, go on.
Yes. Okay, they're going to tell you that I was in Monty Python 40 Towers, because they usually do.
Well, what I'm actually going to say, John, is that you were, in one of the episodes of Fawlty Towers, was filmed in this very studio.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I think a lot of them were.
Yeah.
We used to... all the Monty Pythons and all the Fawlty Towers were recorded in your studio. Is there a plaque on the wall or anything?
There should be. There must be. And it was episodes like that that everybody loved and entertained so many. And people may think that humour is something that comes totally naturally to you, but actually you say that it is something that you can learn. You can actually learn to be more creative, and this is what your new book is about.
Yes, it's about creativity rather than humour, but of course it applies to humour. And you see, when I grew up with a very old-fashioned education, I knew all about Latin and maths, and I got into Cambridge on science, and no one had ever said to me that I had any creative talent at all. So I was quite surprised when I joined the Footlights, you know, which produced people like Stephen Fry, Hugh Laurie and Emma Thompson. And I discovered if I wrote something on a blank sheet of paper, I could make people laugh.
And so was that the start for you? Was that the start of, in your head, being creative?
It was the start of a study of why things happened and why if I, for example, worked hard at night trying to think of the end of a sketch and I couldn't do it and I'd go to bed and I'd wake up in the morning, make a cup of coffee, sit down, and suddenly I would have the answer. And I thought, well, why couldn't I get it last night? I couldn't even see what the problems were last night. And I began to see that my unconscious mind was actually working on the sketch while I was asleep. And once you began to see there's a part of your mind which can help you if you know how to kind of coax it, it became a fascinating exercise. Then I read about research, some research that said that the creative people, nothing to do with intelligence, the creative people are the ones who know how to play, and how to play in a simple, childlike way.
So
then I thought, well, playing is very... Sorry?
Sorry, no, I'm just sorry to interrupt. I was just going to say, is it then that, in a way, we're all a bit control freaks trying to force something, and actually by letting go a little bit, the magic happens? Well,
it's more to do with, if you think of childlike play, why can children play in that wonderful free way? And the answer is because the parents are minding the shop. You see, you have to play separately from real life, because real life is full of responsibilities and things you've got to remember and things that you forgot to do and all that stuff. So you have to get away from that and create a space where there's no interruptions, and you get rid slowly of all those thoughts of I could have called so-and-so, or I forgot to buy a birthday present for the hamster and all that stuff. And as that settles, a little bit like meditation, then if you're not interrupted, because they're death to any kind of creativity, then you can start having ideas and just playing with them in a very light-hearted way, not sort of furrow-browed, sort of beating your brains, but very, very sort of playful. And I wonder what would happen and why have I suddenly thought of a rhinoceros? What's a rhinoceros got? Just play with things. Yeah. And that way you will come up with new ideas, but not all of them good, because at some point you've got to check them out with the logical part of your mind, the one that they educate at school, to see whether it's a good idea or not.
So when you were writing with Graham Chapman for Monty Python, did creativity always show up?
No, but they're quite right, because sometimes if you're trying to write, sometimes you finish up at the end of the day with a blank sheet. And we used to feel terrible. And then we began to realize that we could average it. We could do 15 to 20 minutes every week. And if we had a bad day Monday, we'd probably have a very good day Wednesday morning. So once we knew that the average was going to be there, then we relaxed a bit more when it wasn't coming easily. And then when it came very, very well, we thought, well, that's great, but there'll also be an arid period coming up. But there's no need to get depressed and anxious about it.
I mean, you mentioned how distraction kind of destroys creativity, and I think for a lot of people sort of entering comedy or learning to be creative at the moment, distraction is there in your hand. It's on your phone that's going ting, social media, watching things, screens. We live very, very busy lives. Do you think that that's at the detriment to creativity?
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly right. That's exactly what I'm saying, is you've got to get away from that. And I think in the old days it was easier because when you were out for a walk or fishing or doing those more leisurely things that we used to do, your mind had time to play. Even if you were doing a jigsaw at the same time, that didn't occupy your whole mind and you could play. But now if you're constantly answering phones and sending emails back, there's no chance that you'll get anything from your unconscious to help you, because the unconscious doesn't send you neat little typed out messages. It sends you images. It's like the language of dreams. It sends you feelings. It sends you hunches. And you suddenly think, I wonder if, and you've no idea where the idea came from, when it came from your unconscious, then you think, I wonder if, what would that mean? And then you just play with it. And then finally, when it's taken some sort of shape, then you have to look at it critically and say, well, actually, is this a good idea? It's a new one, but is it good?
So does political correctness stifle creativity?
Yes.
In what way?
Because creativity comes out of spontaneity. And the moment that you have to walk daintily through the thin ice, trying not to say the naughty words that you're allowed to say this week, that's introducing a sort of limiting, inhibiting factor, which destroys creativity completely. I do think that political correctness is a very bad idea indeed. It started out as a good idea, and then it got taken ad absurdum, and now if you say certain words now, people sort of fall over and faint, as they used to do in the old days if you said four-letter words, you know? And I think it's completely absurd, because words themselves aren't harmful. It's the context in which they are used that gives them the meaning. And therefore, when you're teasing your friends, you can say, you silly bugger, and it's totally affectionate. And people don't understand that affectionate teasing is a bonding mechanism, and anybody who's ever been in a sports changing room knows the sort of affectionate joshing that goes on. That's a bonding mechanism. It's only mean and nasty teasing that's designed to hurt people. We mustn't do that. That's obviously wrong. But don't throw the baby out with the what's it called? The dishwater. No,
bathwater.
Anyway, dishwater.
Oh, the dishwater.
Thank you, John. Pleasure to talk to you. And this is John's book, John Cleese, Creativity.
I hope I'm not encouraging people to... I don't want to think that people are being encouraged to wash babies in the dishwasher.
No, I think we've got that. Yeah, that's okay.
I have a question. I want to know, is a vulva mask connected with the coronavirus?
No, that won't protect you at all.
Different ends of the body.
Thank you, John. Take care.